So you don't make money, you don't have money, and you ask other people for money. So in my time, we call that bankruptcy. And I was like, oh my God, I can't. If Apple was, made in Einstein time, Einstein would use it.
Who are your users?
Dropbox and Netflix, and I think we passed 4,000, going to 5,000 users at this moment. Yeah.
Today's episode is with guest Sandra. She's well known from Twitter or X, and she's a marketer for Clue. But I think that she can introduce better than I can. So here is it, Sandra. It's your turn.
Thank you. I'm also always confused. Is it X or Twitter? Did we already decided how to call it? But thank you for inviting me. It's really a pleasure to be here. You had a very nice introduction. So yeah, my name is Sandra. I'm a marketing and growth person for Clue. And I've been sharing my journey a lot on Twitter and Product Hunt, so people kind of know me probably from there. But yeah, I'm excited to start this.
Yeah, at the beginning, I'd like to ask you, what is your background? Because you are in charge of marketing. What have you been charged of previously? Like, what was your profession, and maybe studied school, and
Yeah, marketing has always been my first and only love. So that's where I come from. I worked for the companies before as a marketing growth and business developer person. And I started with Clue somewhere around December, because the guys that built Clue or worked on Clue, we kind of worked together before. So when I got the call in December saying to me that, hey, we built something, we kind of have this idea, we would like to show you, I kind of like jumped immediately in the project. Before, companies were always a SaaS company. Only one company was a hardware company, and that was like a project on its own, which is totally different than what you have in SaaS. But yeah, marketing has been always my first love, and I've been here for like, it's been a while now. So yeah.
so before that, your coworkers, or I don't know, I suppose they were coworkers. They were satisfied with your previous work, so this is the result. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we were a team before, and we knew each other very well, and we kind of separated, went to different companies, and then when the idea of Clue came by, we kind of okay, let's now start to build something together and join this journey. Yeah.
And how many members are on the board right now in Clue?
There's four of us building Clue. Two of them are developers, back and front end, and then we have like classic titles. We had to make sure that we have titles. CEO, who is kind of like into venture CEO side, business development, and etc. And then there's me, growth, marketing, analytics, product side, and these things.
So, how does it work? What is Clue?
Yeah. So, as I said, somewhere in December, they reached out and they told me they kind of built this thing that can find anything you have in your cloud-based apps. And I got really excited. And when they showed it to me, I saw it as my own personal Google. And that meant that I can connect any app or cloud-based apps that I have, like Slack, Notion, Gmail, or Google Drive, whatever you're using. And then through one search bar, find anything I need. And it got me really excited because I could see this Google vibe side of getting the information faster and better. And that's how Clue started. It was always about the search and finding the things you need. And then somewhere around January, February, we had the opportunity, all of us, to experience the kind of like ChatGPT and the power of AI. And we realized at that point that we can also implement some of these things into Clue as well, which meant that not only finding the right file or a message or an email, but actually understanding the context of that and allowing the user to ask and simplify on simplifying way a question, because you already have data information stored in one place. Why wouldn't you be able to kind of like ask a question and get the reply immediately, rather than just scanning the documents by yourself or the message or the email? So that's Clue. It's kind of like AI powered search for your cloud based apps, acting like your own personal Google.
So basically, it is something that helps you to find information you need faster in all those documents you have.
Exactly. So we all use multiple different apps, and when we are thinking about like companies, not only like a personal user, there's multiple different information stored in different apps. So if you're dealing with one project, 20% of the communication will be on Slack, then you have Notion, then there's Gmails and Drives and etc. So what we are trying at Clue is bringing all of these data information in one place, and then allowing users or companies to just ask a question and get the information faster and better.
The first question that comes to my mind, is it safe for your data?
Yeah, so I mean, this is very tricky question that we knew from the beginning. It's gonna be like the issue from the users, but also the companies. So we built Clue to be security first. So we do everything in our power from our side to encrypt all the solutions, so we don't even see anything you have. But then, of course, there are industry standard certifications you have to go through in order to even sell your product to companies. So we did that as well. So we have SOC 2 certification that we got this December, and took around 7 months, and it's very expensive. So yes, Clue is secure for you, and our and it, for us, it was from the beginning, can we make sure that all the data and information that we are storing from our users and whatever we are trying to do is secure? So yeah.
I noticed that you announced that you have some certification. So, what does it mean for users, this certification?
For the users itself, I don't think many people know about SOC 2 certification, in the sense of like, you will sign up for some app and you will not know what SOC 2 means. But for the industry standards and the security and the privacy things, especially for the companies, it's a big certification that kind of acknowledges that the company is doing everything in their power to secure the data information that is stored on their apps. So yeah, I wrote it on our landing page as well, that we got the SOC 2 certification, with thinking also not many people will actually know what does that mean and how big it is. But doing everything in our power to kind of like spread the message of SOC 2 certification, and etc.
Yeah, I think that's it's very difficult to be at the early stage of this era where the AI is applied, because you are the very first person who needs to fight for your some kind. I would say it's very hard to do things when you are very first person in the line. We can also see that you have other projects, especially it is a podcast with Dan, I think. So how you come up with this idea?
So it's very interesting because I started my Twitter journey in January. I wanted to say this year, but last year, 2023. And during this month, I've noticed that it's extremely hard to kind of like make your breakthrough, or figure out how Twitter works, or find your audience or whatever. And I've also noticed that in this community, there are many people building amazing products, but usually they are not heard or unknown, because there is no that aspect of audience for them. So, Dan and I have been very close. I think we started in the same time and kind of became very close friends during this journey, and just decided to kind of build a space where the whole focus is on other people and great products and great makers, and make it fun and interesting for other people. And yeah, now we are doing the podcast and we have sponsorships as well. So it kind of like grew quite quickly, and it's really excited to see, because I think, or I've noticed that many people get excited to see that they have been mentioned to some show. And I remember when I was starting as well, like being mentioned by someone else or your product being mentioned by someone else, it was so much like so powerful for me. So it's really nice to see the same reaction from the people as well.
Yeah, I noticed that you use tag building public and just only mention these people. It is a kind of promotion for them. My question is, how did you get those sponsors? Because you already started. I think that yesterday was your 14th episode. So it's very soon that you got sponsors. How did you get it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question because we started, I think it was like early December that we did our like kind of first episode, or late November, something like that. So like not even 2 months full. But I think the reasons why we got sponsorship is because we said that we're going to approach this sponsorship totally differently. We're not going to read the line someone sends to us and kind of like try to sell it to people, but actually figure out the product or the sponsored product, figure out what it does for us. Does it work for us or doesn't work for us? What's good and what's bad about it, and kind of present it to our audience. So very like straightforward with a lot of feedback. Initiative. So, how we got the first sponsors? I think the first sponsors we got by the person who was just listening to the show, and he liked what we were doing and what we were saying. The second sponsorship we got, I think it was because we love the product and we use the product, and we were already like talking about the product before the Morning Maker show. So I think people just noticed it and gave the opportunity to sponsor it as well and support the project too. The second sponsorship is PostHog, and I use PostHog on daily basis, and I have been using it for months, and I have been talking about it for months. And I wouldn't bring it to the Morning Maker show if I didn't think that it makes sense for the audience. And I'm someone like marketing background, and marketing for usually for people means like sharing and commenting and like trying to do ads and etc. But for me, marketing is much more, and if you have a right data and analytics setup, you can see a bigger picture of marketing and maybe even be inspired to do more of this sharing and talking and testing and so yeah, this is how the sponsorship kind of started, to make sure that we partner up with right people that are right for our community.
Yeah, so basically you just offer or announce some things about the product you use on your own because you are okay with that product normally. The question is, did you reach to those people or tag them, or what was the technique?
I mean, I've been tagging them for a while, much more before the Morning Maker show, and I think people just noticed that, and then yeah, it's been a very simple process. I don't know, it's not anything complicated. I didn't reach out to them. I did mention them multiple times on Twitter. I did mention them even in showcasing their product and how it worked with Clue, like how am I using their product when it comes to Clue. So I think it was just like this.
Yeah. You mentioned that you started with Twitter or X. Why did you choose this platform? Because also there is the threads on the market.
So at the beginning of Clue, 4 people building a very not complicated platform, but in general asking someone to give them data and information they have. And it's a small team but a big product, and my thinking was like, it's not going to be easy to go on the market with this product where you are very unknown, you don't have an amazing connections and etc. So I knew from the beginning it's going to be extremely hard to make people trust you firstly, because as we said, you can have all of these certifications and you can write on your website that you are encrypted, but in the sense, but there's still going to be question marks because you are essentially giving your data information to someone. So I knew from the beginning that in order to break to the market, we have to showcase who we are as people, as you know, and also make sure that reaching out to people that are also in this kind of space where they need support system in the sense that they don't have or they are willing to try out new products. And Twitter was the right place because I knew about the building public community. I knew that they are building their own products, and they are willing enough to also try new products. And that was my like reasoning why to go with Twitter rather than any other platform. If I knew that if I went on, let's say, LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a very professional like network where when you are reaching out to people, they do expect that the product is fully ready, it's not in beta, you are already VC backed company, everything is kind of set up because these are the professionals.
So, who are your users or users of Clue? I suppose that it is B2B.
Yeah. So from the like it the plan has always been to go into enterprises, to go to B2B fully, but also to go to B2B, you have to be at certain stage to be able to move or transition to there. And the one thing that I made sure is that from the beginning that we are reaching the right people, meaning that even though that we have offered Crew to them to use personally, these people have already or are already in the companies we want to have at certain point with Clue. And this kind of like strategy worked really well for Clue, because I was reaching out to people to test the app and the platform that are working in certain companies, and it kind of went from there.
And how many users do you have right now?
I think we passed 4,000, going to 5,000 users at this moment. Yeah.
And can you mention companies?
I mean, yeah, we have people from, I mean, crazy even to mention. I wouldn't imagine, but like Dropbox and Netflix and Klarna. I don't know where are you in the world, but Klarna is quite big in Nordics at least. I mean, really exciting companies that I wouldn't imagine, kind of like, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a remarkable success because they are giant companies. How is it to work like this? Because it's
I think
crazy.
honestly, I think all started because of the product hunt. I think all hysteria started because of the product hunt. I know, I mean, Twitter and product hunt together mixed. I'm someone who is very loud about the things that I'm very proud. So, and I don't hide that. So, I think combination of Twitter and product hunt and then very targeted audience and niching it out as much as you can worked very well for us. I also want to say that we are far away from what we want to be and where we want to be. I don't want to sound it that it's everything is perfect and nice because it's not. It's just, we are talking about small, nice victories. So it sounds very nice, but there is a lot of things that we need to improve with the platform and the goals we want to reach. Just talking about the roadmap and itself, but yeah, in general, all of these small successes that we tend to mention a lot started with a combination of Twitter and product hunt together. And being extremely loud and reaching out to people and reaching out to correct people, and these things.
And what are your goals with Clue? I mean, yes, you have big companies who use your product, and what next?
Yeah, essentially, right now we are only working with departments. And the thing is, so for us, it was always about the testing the communication and collaboration between different departments. And what that means is that if you have a marketing team and let's say a product team, marketing people don't need that middleman to ask questions about what's happening with the product. They can ask Clue because everything is connected there. What we are trying to do is now to bring the companies as a whole level of the companies. And this is very complicated, and because there are multiple issues and levels of what can one department know about another department, and then you have totally corporate level or the C level where the things needs to be, so this is where we are at the moment in trying to figure it out, like the levels of admins and configurations and things like that. So reaching that would be really nice in this year.
And do you have any specific company in mind which want you to use Clue, like Love brand?
Love brand. I mean, I have a list of them.
Wow.
I have a list of them. I mean, it's always tech companies because just of the nature of the product and the applications that we are allowing. But I have a list of the companies I want to see being or use Clue in their daily lives, and I think like reaching that level will make me really proud. I don't want to say the names of these companies, but yeah.
Yeah, I see, because there is always a space for improving and also reaching new goals that are higher. So yeah, exactly. You use also technique building public. How this approach help you with Clue, and in general, what are the benefits of this approach?
I think the building public community has helped me so much, especially at the beginning, because they were the ones that kind of pushed the product. They were the ones who gave us the first initial feedback of the product or influenced directly the product itself. So I think it all kind of started from building public community. Um, and now thinking back, even on our first launch, I think they were the ones that you always, when you launch the product, you always need that group of people that will initially boost the product, and then you reach certain level, and everything over that level is on product itself. So whatever you reach later on, it's on the product. But building public community was this initial pusher for the product for us, and that's why I'm extremely grateful and doing all of these other things for the community itself, because I know how important it is at the beginning to have this initial boost. And that, I mean, that was for us as well.
And do you have in a plan other projects apart from Clue and podcast?
I mean, I have multiple ideas always going in my head. um, I have a, I don't know, but I have this, my very close friend is in art business. She's an artist, and she told me all of her struggles that they have, and I had no idea about that. So I'm kind of like in this mindset as well. Can we figure out something? Can we do something around that? But yeah, there's always something going through my mind, and there are always domains that I need to buy and have in my pocket, just in case.
Yeah. And who inspires you during your marketing and business journey?
When it comes to marketing, this is funny, but when it comes to marketing, the person who has inspired me the most was, I don't know, have you heard for Oatly? It's a Swedish company. They are producing Oatly milk. It's a startup that is old for like 20 years, and they brought a marketing person, John, who kind of like transformed how company works. And now Oatly is one of the biggest companies when it comes to Oatly milk. But he kind of taught me more about storytelling, and not only about like the ads and like classic marketing strategy, but his approach was storytelling and how to tell a story and why to tell the story. And he transferred the company that has been called 20 years old startup into something new and big and different. And he was marketing inspiration. But you have like, when it comes to business and the startup wise and the products and trying to change something in the world and blah blah blah, I think we will always mention like the Steve Jobs. It's a classic one. And when it comes to marketing strategy from Steve Jobs and Apple itself, it's always like think different. I don't know if you know about that campaign they had, but it's such an inspiring story because I think he said something like, if Apple was, made in Einstein time, Einstein would use it. It's such a great statement to make for your product that it's kind of also in the limits of the craziness, and that's what I like about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. We are almost at the end of this part of episode because we are continuing on Hero Hero. But at the end, is some quote or something, some motivational thoughts at the end, which would you like to say?
I don't know. I just wrote on my Twitter, dream big and work hard. And that's, I don't know if I read that somewhere or I made it up. I don't know, but it's true. Dream big and work hard, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I like that part about working hard. So, yeah, totally relate. Well, thank you for being here, and I want to say our listeners that we are continuing on Hero Hero community. I will leave in description the link and see you there.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you also.